So there was a video here on YouTube that has been posted a lot on Reddit apparently, by Senator G, top 6 builds for beginners, strong, stylish, and easy to play, and we're gonna check this one out and critique pretty much everything that is wrong about this, and why, if you are a new player, you should not follow one of these builds, but rather an actual beginner guide, for which I'll post links down below. Anyway, let's start here then.
With Diablo 4 coming out in June and several other great titles existing and developing, RPG genre is on the spin. The best part of Grim Dawn, on top of generally being one of the best RPGs in decade, is that it practically offers just huge amount of fun and viable character builds, noticeably more than any other RPG on the market. But
so
for the newcomers in the genre, or even veterans, but playing Grim Dawn itself for the first time, the whole system may be somewhat overwhelming to get into at first. To help with this,
he does have like some decent damage here in the videos, right? Like it's not too bad.
That all share the same traits. They are visually cool, easy to both build and play, they do not require the advanced understanding of the game mechanics, and strong all the time, from the beginning to end game content, from normal
it looks
to
decent,
ultimate
right?
difficulties. I will be providing a complete setup for class skills, devotion, recommended items and sets, and showing the playstyle, so you only have to pick the build that you like the most in terms of the gameplay, replicate it and enjoy your game. And of course, each of them has a build calculator link in the description below. These builds are also not dependent on the legendary item sets much, so while they will become even stronger in those, they are still competitive and fun to play even in a random gear tiers. Let's take a look.
Okay, so he has provided links down below for, this is for endgame only, right? This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 2 different versions for the Kabbalist. And we're gonna check out all of them here. He does not have Grim Tools links to follow for leveling, I think. Yeah, these are all over 100, so I assume he's gonna show the correct like order and which items to look out for while leveling in the video itself, but we'll see.
First comes my visually favorite type of builds in this game, dual-wielding gunslinger, in our case Vindicator, a mastery with mostly elemental damage that combines Inquisitor and Shaman classes, with Inquisitor being a main one.
Okay, so Vindicator can be used as one of the gunslinger classes, right? Because you have guns on which you can put the like storm-touched ammo component, right? Or Hellbane's ammo, I think it's called, which gives you like an aura that makes you deal more lightning damage, which he's not using here, by the way. I guess because he's using like 1 Seed of Might already, and not sure what he has in the other gun, but Hellbane's ammo, right? Hellbane's ammo. So dual Hellbane's ammo actually boosts lightning pistols quite a lot, damage-wise. So while Vindicator itself, I would say, or like while lightning damage itself in general, I would say, is not necessarily the best like class and damage type for guns, it is one of the classes that you can use, and Hellbane's ammo does provide additional damage. I would say the progression curve is not as smooth as, like, for example, some Rhythmic builds, or like a Fire Strike Purifiers, for example, but it can, like, generally definitely work.
Build is a stylish ranged character with a crazy attack speed and multiple active on-hit procs from both class and devotion skills, which
the build combat look demonstrated on a dummy for the clear vision of the attacks.
result in both epic look and the great damage bursts. That's nearly a glass cannon build, but it also has several tricks up the sleeve to be able to overcome
Gunslinger Inquisitor can look pretty nice.
At the game very beginning, till level 10 or so, it is recommended to level up with the Stormbox of Elgolot skill.
Okay, so until level 10, you're supposed to level up with Stormbox. Honestly, that's totally fine. That is definitely a strong early game, for sure. That's not bad at all.
It has decent damage amidst an AoE, so you can
literally the best skill like for level 1 to 10.
After that, respec into ranged expertise in Inquisitor to begin dual-wielding guns, and savagery in Shaman.
Okay, I mean, that's not wrong per se, right? Like, you do want to pick up those two next if you want to like once you play dual wield guns, you want to pick up those two first, right? It's a little I mean, he doesn't really like say how many points you should put in those skills, and looking at this picture, it looks like you should just like max out them right away, right? Like 10 out of 10 here, like 16 out of 16 here. That's not really what you should do usually, I think. Because if you do that and like put nothing in mastery bar, you're like gonna be squishy as fuck. But if you do this and like a nice mix in mastery bar, then it's totally fine at this point.
For your core damage output and the auto attack
Base cam is in the way. Oh yeah. Just put this like here, I guess. Maybe that's better.
Placer. Then max bursting round in Inquisitor and the grasping vines in Shaman. Grasping vine skill is your core enemy debuff.
Sorry, what? Okay, like bursting rounds makes sense. That totally makes sense. Grasping vines. So like when you level early and you are switching to the setup, then if you use these two skills and bursting rounds only, then your single target is going to be very good and your AoE can be kind of bad. And to have better AoE support early game, grasping vines is one of the best like AoE supportive skills. I have no idea why he says like main enemy debuff or something like that here. It makes, in my opinion, like no sense. Maybe because he means the slow or something. I would not consider this to be like an actual debuff, right? But also, like usually you don't even need this. I mean, this generally makes no sense in a build like this. I can see it being like fine early game, honestly. It's not that bad for like additional AoE, but other than that, it's like Wouldn't Word of Pain be better AoE anyway? Yes and no. Word of Pain would make more sense. It's a bigger AoE, yes. Grasping Vines also does slow enemies, so if you're playing like a pistol build, it's kind of okay. Depends what proc he has on Grasping Vines, it's a decent proc to trigger procs. If you're using Grasping Vines to proc devotions, okay, or rather, by the time you have enough devotion points to even bind a skill to a devotion, you don't need Grasping Vines anymore, because at that point you should have enough AoE from other weapon pool skills and stuff anyway. At that point you don't need it anymore. The only like point at which I can see you needing this skill is like in the first, I mean, he said like he's gonna level with Stormbox until level 10. So that's like what, level 20? But he's also like maxing out these first, or what? I don't quite understand. Also, if you do this, okay, like if you go to Grim Tools, right? Let's go to Grim Tools real quick. And like look at what he actually does. Right? If you do what he does, then okay. So 10 levels is like 30 skill points, 28 skill points actually, because first level doesn't give you skill points and you get +1 skill points from Kasparov. So you have 28 skill points, right? So, okay, like first levels is this. Okay, that's fine. Then you respec into this. So you go down to 220 points, right? If you do this. So this is, okay, so this is your level 10, or like level 11, right? At level 10, actually. And then what? He says you go here, and does he say max out or just like pick it?
The auto attack replacer. Then max bursting.
Max. He says max, right? Max bursting round. Okay, you max bursting round, which by the way has no pass through. It does have AoE though. It does have AoE. So maxing it out does help a bit with AoE. I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Round in Inquisitor and the grasping vines in.
He says this in the same sentence, so I would assume he says max out both, right? So you max out both. He never says like put more points in mastery bar at any point here. Dude, how many levels is this already? That's like 16 plus 12 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5, right? Like, if you do exactly this, you are like level 20 with 600 HP. Level 20 with 1k HP if you put all points in physique. You should have 100 HP per level usually. This is like 50 HP per level. I don't know, you're gonna die. Also, if you max bursting, okay, so you're not gonna die because you're playing on a new playtest 1.2 patch on which this guy is, on which this guy is not playing, by the way. And then you have evade, and you just evade all attacks, right? You just evade all attacks and you slow all enemies with this, right? Like, I can see the point, right? Like, grasping vines slowing enemies and you shoot them because they can't reach you. It's not like the worst idea. But some enemies just have slow res and ignore your slow, right? Like, you get hit by one crossbow attack from Warden. If you're playing Veteran, you just die, right? And the issue is also cunning, yeah. Like, you need cunning for guns, to equip guns. And if you spend points in cunning to equip guns, you will have even less HP. And if you don't put points in Mastery Bar, you also won't have cunning. So you need to absolutely put way more points in the Mastery Bar than this. To like not die, and like even if you're playing softcore, right, you're gonna die like a lot, and dying a lot even in softcore is not fun.
Shaman. Grasping Vine skill is your core enemy debuff. It does decent damage, but its main purpose is to slow enemies down. From the rest of the build, invest into highlighted skills at will, but make sure.
I also like how he says like it's your main enemy debuff and it's gonna slow enemies down. And if you look at the gameplay, this bottom left ability here, right? This is Grasping Vines. Look at how often he presses Grasping Vines. He presses once here. Okay, he presses once here because like he was like funneling all the enemies like through the door, right? Kind of like cheesing his enemies here, which is fine. Okay, he's pressing it out every now and then. Okay.
Shaman for your core damage output.
Okay, he's pressing it quite a lot here actually. Okay, because like tons of horde of enemies, right? Like big horde of enemies.
In Inquisitor and the Grasping Vines in Shaman.
He takes so much fucking damage, by the way. Holy shit.
Enemy debuff.
He's using clusters here. Like, what is this?
It does decent damage, but its main purpose
okay, one
is
Grasping Vines here. He slowed down the enemies, right? But like they just walk out of it anyway. It's fucking useless. It does nothing.
Debuff. It does decent damage, but its main purpose is
like these bosses probably have like 500% slow resistance anyway. They can't be slowed. You cannot debuff them.
Slow enemies down. From the rest of the build, invest into highlighted.
It's literally impossible to slow these enemies.
Sure to not get
it cannot be your main debuff.
Chase, as you may find yourself too squishy to clean harder dungeons and.
Okay. You might find yourself too squishy, yeah, that's true.
Chase, as you may find yourself too squishy to clean harder dungeons and kill bosses.
Okay, so you wanna max out these three.
Into World of Renewal and its upgrades from time to time.
Okay, I mean, that's generally good advice. Like you should do this from time to time. So like at some point where you like get here, right, you put points here every now and then. So basically what you're doing, I guess, or like what you're supposed to do at this point is like you are supposed to like go along Inquisitor tree and like put some points here from time to time, right? And also you can see in the video also has like points and chilling grounds. So if I was a new player, I would like, I don't know, like put some points maybe here, I know, like whenever I feel like I need more HP, right? I don't know, something like this. Whatever. And eventually like max out the abilities.
So invest a bit into World of Renewal and its upgrades from time to time. Between the two exclusive skills, while Aura of Censure looks more appealing based on your damage type, it has shorter range, so it lets suit in the Gunslinger playstyle, while the Aura of Conviction gives both offensive ability, hit and crit chance, and physical resistance. That's important for this build survivability. Your core attributes are
Nani? Okay, so he says go for... Okay, so he shows... maxed out Storm Spread, maxed out this. Okay, all of this is maxed as well. And then he says go for Aura of Conviction and not for Aura of Censure. Let's check out Aura of Conviction. So Aura of Conviction has no elemental damage whatsoever. He also doesn't really like say what damage type the build is supposed to be in the first place at all, right? This is just like piercing damage, pierce percent damage, physical damage. To be fair though, many guns are like pierce damage or physical damage based by default kind of. And gunslinger elemental kinda sucks in a way, early game at least, so you are like doing like hybrid damage in a way, that's fine I guess. But okay, so he says physical resistance, offensive ability, right? Okay, offensive ability is obviously great for all builds. Physical resistance is mostly good for big hits, and is mostly good for big melee hits that hit you, unless it's like big bad meteors dropping on you, right? That are usually very telegraphed and that you should be able to just like walk away from. So when is this useful? This is only useful most of the time when enemies are close and hit you, right? And if enemies are close and hit you, they are gonna be in the range of this as well, which is a 7-meter radius, which is not that high, I agree, but it's still high enough. So like whenever you need it, whenever it matters, it's gonna be in effect. And if you look at the gameplay as well that he's showing, right? If you look at this gameplay, while he's talking about this,
looks
like here he's like jumping back here. Okay, so like he's not inside of our sensor range at this point. But here, right, in this clip, he's like in aura of sensor range, right? In range. These are all in range.
Aura of conviction gives both offensive ability, hit and crit chance, and physical resistance. That's important for this build survivability.
Also, he said that's important for this build survivability. This skill does not only have like elemental resistance reduction, which literally pretty much boosts all your damage by 25% multiplicatively, more or less. It also has 15% damage reduction. So you take 15% less damage, not only from physical, but from all other damage as well. And this is 16% physical resistance, which if you have no other Physdress, which this Vindicator class isn't going to have much of, I don't know, like it's probably going to reduce your physical damage taken by like maybe 20 to 25%. And this one reduces 15% of all damage taken. I mean, TLDR, this is trash. Don't do this ever in elemental builds. Just play Aura Sensor. Like, this is just... If you want to have a build that is stuck, like, at some point in, like, Elite, because it doesn't properly scale its damage anymore, then yeah, you can play Aura of Conviction, but otherwise you should always play Aura of Censure if you're playing an Elemental Inquisitor, of course. If you're playing like Pierce guns, then or like physical guns, then Aura of Conviction is amazing.
Your core attributes are
also for defense, right? You could always just pick up Seal, right? Seal is insane for defense as well, especially like early to mid game. This is of course at the cost of mobility, but it's gonna like, you know, reduce your damage taken by so much if you just max this out. And also you should always like get at least 1 point in deadly aim. Up to 4 points is fine here, and you can also like get 1 point here. And yeah, if you look at the efficiency of like bursting rounds and so on, I would always like put only 5 points, because like up to 5 points you get like decent chance to use this, right? Yes, you get more AoE, but like between 5 and 10 is like only 0.5 meters, and chance to be used is like just also not that great. When it comes to like point by point efficiency, this is only good up to 5 points. Same here, and here for Soulshred you would go for like 7 points to get 4 projectiles. These are like the sweet spots for these 3 abilities. And yeah, that's like what you want to do, especially while leveling when you don't have like all skill points in the world. I mean, later on when you have more skill points, you can put more points here, but especially while leveling, it matters more that you put the points where it matters and where it's efficient to put them. And the Word of Renewal and the Vigor should usually like only be 1 pointers, and then series of 10 points until later, and then you max out these as well. That's kind of how I would do it. You can put more points in Word of Renewal, honestly, if you feel like you need more healing, but you should kind of have like leech, like healing from another source anyway. Anyway, let's see what he says otherwise. So he shows this build, right? So he shows a 3-piece Sentinel armor set, which, to be fair, is rather easy to get, right? So he shows Silver Sentinel, Mythical Silver Sentinel, Mythical Silver Sentinel, Mythical Silver Sentinel. This is a 3-piece blue set, right? It is a random drop, so you're not guaranteed to get this. However, it is rather easy to get this. So it is a cold damage set, as you can see. So, well, this will confirm that he is trying to aim for a elemental build and not a pierce or physical build. So Aura of Censure over Aura of Conviction. Then he shows mythical like some exonerator weapon and some like fire pistol. This is a lightning pistol. This is a fire pistol. cold armor set, so this is definitely a elemental set. Subvert to this. Yo, welcome on. Thanks for the raid. Welcome, guys. Also, cold gloves, cold boots, cold pants, cold amulet, like generic rings, elemental belt, and fire, lightning, metal, and gunslinger. So everything is elemental here, right? Literally everything is elemental. Why the fuck would you go out of conviction? It makes literally no sense whatsoever. Also, literally all of this gear he shows here is random drop. You're not guaranteed a single item of these in your playthrough. You might get totally different gear and you cannot play this gear at all, right? Thank you. Welcome on. So, I don't know, it's just... You want to show people a build that has gear that you can always plan for, and then you can show them what they can like aim for on top, right? But this like shows nothing. Just shows that he has less HP times like than levels times 100, right? That just shows like he's building the squishiest character ever. 43k DPS. I mean, it's for level 88. It's not absolute terrible. It's not really good either. It's like okay-ish. 0% stun res. That's fun. Double Titan plating, but has not capped arm. He has... What is this? He has... Wait, is this Titan plating? How the fuck does he have Titan plating? Not even good OA. No, it's level 88. It's amazing OA for level 88, actually. It's very good OA. The OA is very good. But he has double Titan plating, which is a random drop component, by the way. He also has... Okay, he has Sacred plating here as well, which is also a random drop component, by the way. He has Seal of the Night here, which is worse than Hellbane's ammo for damage. Seal of Blades here, which honestly is okay-ish for Leech. But again, like double Hellbane's ammo is just more damage if you're playing like some Lightning or Elemental Vindicator. We don't see chat. Shit, the chat is blocking stuff, right? Okay, sorry. Let me remove chat real quick here. Shit, where did I put chat? Okay, just have it removed for now. So, Lightning Pistol, Fire Pistol, right? Cold set. He's using components for which you have to find the blueprints first. All of these actually are blueprints that you have to find first, so this is not a fresh start beginner. He did not make this character without already having other gear, right? This is like a third or fourth or fifth character, right? He does not use gear or components that you can find on your very first character as a beginner. And it's still terrible. And it's still fucking terrible. And he has still no stun res.
Physique and cunning. Devotion setup will provide even more elemental damage and...
Okay, devotion setup. So, Elemental Seeker. Okay.
And active ability procs, as well as extra enemy debuffing from them too. Okay. Survivability wise, you will have good passive lifesteal.
What the fuck is... What? Why? What is fact? What? Okay.
Even more elemental.
Okay, Elemental Seeker? Okay, fine. It's not bad. It's... I mean, for Elemental, it's actually pretty good if you go like Elemental routes. I mean, for Vindicator, you would rather go Lightning route and not Elemental. But fine, if you go Elemental route, Elemental Seeker is totally valid, totally fine. That's totally fine, right? That's good. It's not like maybe the best, because, I mean, but for Elemental, it's fine, totally fine. Elemental Storm, fine too. I mean, rather, very good as a must-have.
From them too.
Good,
Survivability
right?
wise, you will have...
Falcon Swoop? What the fuck? He says survivability wise, and then he blinds in Falcon Swoop. Nani? Okay, so why is Falcon Swoop bad? First of all, it's a tier 1 devotion. Okay, no, first of all, it is not elemental, it's physical, bleed, and all the nodes in Falcon give physical and bleed stuff, right? Let's look at it in actual Grim Tools real quick. Falcon Devotion. right here. Physical bleeding damage, health away, cunning, physical bleeding. Honestly, cunning is not that bad. The proc absolute garbage on this build, good on bleed builds. And also decent on physical builds early game as your very, very, very first devotion, right? It's fine there as well. Enable chat. Yeah, we're gonna enable chat now again. So yeah, it's like, it's okay for physical builds and it's good for bleed builds and it's absolute trash for everything else. And it's kind of, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's just, what? Okay, if you need like 3 purple and 3 green, just play Quill and play Toad, right? You play Quill for elemental stuff and affinity, and you play Toad for Leech over here. And both of these will need 1 less devotion point to give you the same affinity, 3 purple and 3 green. And also the nodes will give you better stats.
Have good passive.
So this, absolute dog shit garbage, and he should know better. Like, before you make any Grim Dawn video, you should know that this is not good for elemental, honestly. Like, this is so bad on so many levels, it's abysmal.
Lifesteal and physical resistance that will go even higher at lower health.
Okay, Blizzard. Blizzard is cool. Okay, so he was, I think, like, he was already like talking about sustain, but still showing damage devotions. Blizzard, I mean, it's a very good co-devotion. Very good co-devotion. So let's just try to rebuild as well. He has like Blizzard, he has Falcon Swoop, he had Turtle. I saw Turtle. Turtle's good for sustain actually, or like for a defensive circle breaker. Very good actually. He had Elemental Seeker, right? Let's put this one in here as well. Elemental Storm, right? This one here. Okay. He's binding devotions to weapon pool skills. That's fine. It's not, that's I think that's fine. Honestly, for a build like this, it's fine. Like, it might not be ideal, but like compared to, let's not focus on that. It's fine. I would put it in the fine category.
With Ghoul Celestial Power, a damage blocking bubble from Tortoise Constellation, and the extra chance for enemies to miss with melee, ranged attack.
Okay. So Ghoul for Leech. Honestly, on a weapon-based character, not the worst. Fine. Turtle, also fine. And then he says, Tsunami is a defensive devotion because it provides fumble and impaired aim. I mean, it's not completely wrong. It's 14% fumble and impaired aim. Which this class, I think, doesn't have otherwise. So, I mean, it's not... He's not technically wrong, it's just very inefficient.
And spells, on top of being slowed down. Lastly, your to miss with melee, ranged attacks and spells, on top of being slowed down.
I assume he was talking about Grasping Vines with like slow down, that's fine.
Lastly, your movement escape skill on the medal will be the Glyph of the Winter Fox. Make sure to add this skill to your skills bar. The
Glyph of the Winter Fox. Okay, so... What? It's just, okay, so there's one thing that's like really, really funny here, because he does not explain how to put points in attributes. Like how to allocate attributes, he doesn't explain it all. But it's fine, I guess, in a way. On the other hand, he says that you want like Glyph of the Winter Fox. He's being very specific here, right? Glyph of the Winter Fox, this one right here. It's like, you need to get this one, pretty much. Well, that is, again, a complete random ass drop, right? Yes, you're gonna get it eventually. But like, just, you don't want to tell a new player to like plan around this. It's just like, what the fuck, man? Okay, let's look at the devotion page and try to actually fill out the rest and like see if this even works. I wanna see if this even works. He didn't show anything else, right? So he has like maybe this, and then that. This, no, this. Maybe. I think he had Quill in there somewhere as well, right? I mean, okay, so it would work, right? It would work, it would work. This is what he's running, right? I know he has another link in the description. But I want to focus on what he shows for leveling first. He shows a level 100 endgame link. Right? This is what he shows. I know he has... I mean, I've literally opened... I don't know if you've seen it before, but I've literally opened all of those links in here as well, right? They're all here. I know he has those. It's the same devotion page? Okay.
Otherwise, you will have, as well as extra enemy and physical power, a damage blocking bubble from fire at lower health with ghoul celestial power.
Okay. So he's using this. That's not true. Okay, so he actually spec'd out of Falcon Swoop. Why does he even show Falcon Swoop then? Nani? I mean, this already looks playable, you know? This one looks playable. He has Hydra, which is a must for range. He has Amatok, he has Ghoul, he has all of this. I mean, this is like okay. It's okay. This is actually like okay. It's not like good, but it's okay. I don't know why he has like 1 point too many here and didn't put it like here. It's like literally like not willingly not like taking 250% frostburn damage for like 100% cold damage. But okay. Why does he have 8 blues? Oh yeah, Turtle and Tsunami, holy shit. Why does he have 3 yellows? Yeah, yep, you don't need that one. You can also pick this one here and also get more damage. Like, even if you use this kind of page, you can just make it better by putting, like, removing 1 point here and removing 1 point here. Like this page, if you do it like this, right, it's like when new players come into my stream and link their builds, and if it's like a new player that actually got to 100 and he links his builds, like this is maybe like a devotion page that he would use. I feel like, I don't know. It doesn't look like a devotion page from like somebody who would write a guide though. But it's fine. It's actually fine now. Like the devotion page, if you do this optimization here, it's fine, right? This is fine. This, however, is totally not fine. I mean, is this supposed to be like a beginner build or what? Or like something that you like aim for later? Like Nani? Look at the rest. I mean, look at the components. Like, this is the laziest shit ever. What is he doing here? He's not uploading his own character, right? He could have just uploaded his own character here, upload here, and show people what he actually was using. The only thing he shows for leveling is, well, the Silver Sentinel abomination, right? This thing over here. Oh, where the fuck is that? He shows it for like 2 seconds.
Your core attributes.
There we go.
Attributes are physique and cunning. Devotion setup.
Okay, yeah, he does say like core attributes are physique and cunning, and spirit like secondary. Which is funny because spirit scales elemental damage and cunning does not, and physique also doesn't. But that's beside the point. Like he says, the core attributes are the 2 that don't scale your damage. And not the one that actually scales your damage. But okay, that's like kind of beside the point. Like this gear already here, as I said earlier, is not what you have on your first character ever. That's just not what you have on first character ever. But he doesn't even provide a Grim Tools to this. He instead provides this, which has fine devotion page, which has fine skill allocation, but he chooses Grasping Vines with the Tangling Vines over Raging Tempest, which would actually be the actual debuff, right? This is the actual debuff you want. This one right here, this one actually has elemental resistance reduction. But then again, he's gonna probably say, well, but you're a ranged build, right? Raging Tempest only floats around you, so it's never gonna hit the enemy. While showing gameplay where he face tank stuff. He also doesn't pick a single point in this line? What? How does he understand that this line gives flat physical damage, which you can convert to elemental, or like gives you damage, or the resistances. This one gives you HP and CC. This one gives you DA and healing and movement speed. How does he understand that this line works, but he does not understand that this line also is the same? Like, just as good? Huh? Like, this does the same, right? It gives you HP, it gives you resistances, it gives you, like, you know, damage. To be fair, you don't max the first one here, because it's not like that good damage actually for a build like this, but I just understand logic. Like, how does he max out this, but he doesn't this? It makes no sense. Like, no sense whatsoever. Besides that, I mean, if you look at skill point, I mean, yeah, there's like other like fine-tuning you could do here when it comes to like how many points you should put in every single skill exactly, but that's kind of like depends on gear more so than other things when it comes to like being efficient with points, but he doesn't do that either really. And then the funny thing is also like he's for some reason actually using Word of Pain here, right? So he was using Grasping once for debuff and AoE instead of like Word of Pain. That's fine. What is he using this for now? He's using Word of Agony for impaired aim debuff, I guess. He's using this as a 1-pointer for duration. He's using this to slow enemy attacks. Okay. So he's using all of that like basically like for soft CC in a way. With like impaired aim and so on. But then he also is using Tsunami. Wait, what does it show like level 1? What the fuck is going on here? Oh yeah, 25. So level 25 has 14% fumble and impaired aim. The thing is that this is something he probably doesn't know, is that Word of Agony does not stack with Tsunami. Right, this is a debuff type that does not stack. So it's either 14% when Tsunami hits, or it's 26% when Word of Agony hits, and if both hit, it's the highest one, so 26%. It is not 40%. They do not add up together. This does not work. And then, of course, every single noob I see in this game maxes out Deadly Aim like a full Pepega. And yeah, like you don't, if you know what you're doing in this game, you don't do this. If you have 5 billion points to spare, you maybe can put up to 12 points. But usually you always only put 4. That's all you need. You never put more than that. It's super unreliable. Your points are more efficiently spent elsewhere. It's just not good. And then there's like tweaks you can do, like 13 here, right? Stuff like that. Or like maybe actually like, I don't know. Actually, he does understand that you should put 17 and not 18 here for attack speed, right? Because last point doesn't give you attack speed. That's surprising. And then of course you play this, right? Like, holy shit. What the fuck, man? That's kind of crazy. You have no, yeah, right, like exactly. If you have no OA, you just max out Deadly Aim and then you have OA. Well, you only have OA if you actually crit though. If you don't crit, you don't have OA, and to crit you need OA in the first place. This is a win more ability. This is not something you. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't. Since he didn't like upload his character and doesn't show like actual components and augments, you can't like look at the stats and understand what you actually want and need here. So you can't understand anything here. To be fair, okay, Bane Relic is great. This is good. This is the best endgame Relic pretty much for a build like this. But again, it's a random drop. You are not going to get this. What you should aim for and look for is another one that you can just, well, get from a vendor instead. At least as an Inquisitor, you always get this one guaranteed. I don't know why he wouldn't mention this, but okay, there's Vendetta, right? This one right here. You get this one, and then, well, either you get some Gunslinger medal, like the legendary one of those, right? Blade Master. Plunderer, I think it's called, or something like that. This one, Plunderer's Talisman or Bane. You play either Plunderer or Bane, like once you get them, but these are random. So you want to play and plan around like Vendetta first, right? Vendetta's what you play. And Bane later, sure. Then you play as a 4-piece Luminari. Honestly, Luminari is a 4-piece blue set. And blue sets are rather easily to get. So this is not too bad to use. Even in a beginner build. I kind of am fine with this, to be honest. This is totally fine. What I'm not fine with is... this is a random legendary, this is a random drop legendary, random drop legendary, random drop legendary, random drop legendary, right? All of these are random drop legendaries. And unless you're lucky, you're not gonna like get them that easily, right? I mean, eventually you're gonna get these items, sure, but you could just like play around like items that you actually get. And say, or like present that as an actual beginner build. Like if this was like, you know, builds that you can aim for, like top 5 builds you can aim for once you have like, you know, done a beginner build, then this is like a fine example. I mean, it's kind of not fine because it doesn't show shit and the skill location is shit and the devotions are, well, okay, but yeah. But as a link for a beginner build, really? Okay, let's see for what you could get instead, right? Like, for example, what you can always aim for is faction, right? You can always like look at faction gear. Luminari set is more like a second character set as well. It's not that uncommon, but definitely not something you will have as soon as you hit that level. I guess so, yeah. But yeah, you basically like write faction here, and you can, I don't know, like look for whatever you actually can wear. And the guy should like provide, you know, the player shouldn't have to like look for those necessarily, right? He should just like have a link where he shows like, for example, I don't know, where the fuck are like good ones here? Hour of Conviction, sure. Grasping Wine, Steel Resolve, Savagery. Oh yeah, this one could work, right? Like Savagery plus 3 lightning damage. This one could work. Or even like this one, Elite Coven Arcane Exploders, right? Like fire, cold damage, chilling rounds plus 3. This one also works. I don't know why it's not showing stuff like this. Also, he's like combining like terrible items together, which make kind of like no sense, but that's another thing. Okay, an item that you can target farm for Amulet, for example, or that you can get like super easily, like once you get to Act 2, you already have it pretty much, right? Like in the Beehive after Cronley. Ulra Proxy Sting, +1 Inquisitor, lightning damage on top as well. Can even use it for endgame, very nice item. You will gonna get affixes, pre and suffix on top, right? Very, very nice. Very good. Already way better like skill, like way more skill points here. I don't know. Neri has a guide like this. Does Neri have a guide for this? Yeah, I can just like show Neri's guide here, I guess. This is anyway. So like, it doesn't serve the purpose of a beginner build because it doesn't show items that you can acquire, like on a fresh character in like 20 hours. Like if you can't get the gear in 20 hours, it is not a beginner build. Like not a beginner, like a good beginner build. On the other hand, if this was supposed to be like an endgame thing, like for an endgame build, this is just also way below average. It's just garbage. And the way he presents this here, like no components, no nothing. It has nothing in it, right? It's just... Okay, let's go for... Neri, beginner... Neri's beginner build compendium, right? So here... I know, this is not a YouTube video, but... Let's search for Vindicator. Okay, so he has like a lightning beginner Vindicator. I think this is a caster build though. Uh, Okay, he has this one and then like two-hander Vindicator as well. Main build, Grim Tools, click me. Yeah, this is a caster, this is a two-hander. Anyway, here you can see like examples of how beginner builds should look like. You have, first of all, green gear from either factions, like Bismia, right? You can just farm the faction for this, and you get this guaranteed. It doesn't take long, it's pretty quick. Emberguard gauntlets, honestly, these are a craft from a yellow blueprint that is a random drop, but it's super common. This one is a yellow, very common blueprint. It's not epic, it's not legendary, nothing like that. And then you can just craft these. To be honest, he could also just like leave this one empty and like put like whatever you find here, right? Just use whatever you find. These are, again, faction boots. This is a belt that you can get from Podwebbery. You literally only have to do the dungeon once, right? Only one time, and then you have this. The affixes don't need to match. It just matters that you get it. Solar Sect, I mean, Hidden Path, second part. Very easy to get pants. To be honest, if you're new to this game, you might not know about Hidden Path, and I'm not sure if this guy also knows about Hidden Path. But just Google Grim Dawn Hidden Path, and then you will know where it is, and then you can get these as well. If you don't find the Hidden Path for some reason, then you can just use whatever you find as well. It's not mandatory here. These, yeah, like green chest, right? For a boss called Valaxteria, you just kill the boss once and then you have it. Stormstrife, it's like a 1 in 3. You farm the boss that drops this Genaxia on average 3 times, and you have this. Faction items, Fat and Mask, you just go to a specific place where every like guide should tell you where to go, and then you have this. Aetherbolt Pendant, faction item, like faction blueprint, and you craft this. Shadow Queen, again, also blueprint that you get from a faction and you craft this. Radic, Eye of the Storm, random drop actually. This is the only like true random drop here in this. You could instead like just use anything else before that, but yeah. Eye of the Storm is, I guess, like the one like thing that's not that easy to get here. Grow Sky Effigy, also you do just like kill like one guy in Act 1 actually, even like a global shaman in Burbage Outskirts, and then you have this, and then yeah, you just have it, and then the build works. I mean, you can probably like make some lightning dual wield Vindicator as well, but honestly, it's just the entire concept of like dual wield Vindicator, dual wield lightning Vindicator, or like elemental, that is just not beginner friendly. Like you can make builds like this work, yes, and this one also, like, I mean, you saw in the gameplay like it kind of works. It kind of does work. But honestly, like compared to actual like good beginner builds, it's like just bad. Maybe there's like some dual wield ranged. Okay, what do we have here? Ranged. Isn't there like a... Wait, where is it? If you go to beginner... The gameplay was an ultimate actually. But he also took like over 5k damage with hits, and he had 8k HP, so... forum guides... click on builds for beginners. Beginner, oh yeah. Thank you, Neri. Thank you, Stupid Dragon, rather, for putting this finally at the top of this post. Finally, it's up on the top. And now here you can sort by playstyles, right? And then you can go cooldown caster, dual wield melee, channeler, pets, two-hand melee, spam caster, ranged. Now we can check out ranged dual wield pistols. So there is dual wield pistol purifier and pierce tactician. Let's check out the lightning purifier here. So Grim Tools link. Let's remove the Seal of Might for now, because honestly this is also like a random drop, and while you're gonna get it eventually, yes. Let's just put double Hellsbane's ammo for now, right? So this is pretty much the same as this. This is elemental, this is like lightning. And I mean, you can't really compare this because the Scream Tools here is just like giga scuffed in a way. It doesn't have like all the stuff in there, and it's using like random endgame gear. Whereas this one is using craftable pistols that you can literally craft pretty much whenever. The helmet from before and other than that are also like just faction gear, and these are honestly random drop, but super easy to find as well. Random like blue drop is kind of easy. And I would also say like Luminari set is, in my opinion, like fine-ish to post as a beginner build. The purples are not though. And yeah, if you look at skill location, this also looks, in my opinion, very much fine. The deadly aim, I don't know what he was doing here. I would also say his deadly aim allocation is trash here. But that's what it is. This is old, right? This is an old post though. I mean, even with this being so old, it's still better than this. This build is 4 years old, right? This build is from 4 years ago, and it's still better than this. Anyway. Let's move on to the next build, I guess.
Will provide even bar. The second build is Sentinel, a master that combines Oathkeeper and Occultist. That's a one-handed and shield, Captain America-like melee character.
The fully documented builds. Every class, skill, devotion point, recommended items linked down below. Dude, if I don't wanna like rely on this guy for any documentation ever, if this is what he says is fully documented without components and augments and nothing. What the fuck? Anyway.
That is built around shield throwing and retaliation, damage reflection basically. It's also really tanky and extremely easy to play with, because in most of cases, most of enemies will just kill themselves while hitting you. Damage type is mostly acid poison with some physical. Your main and first skill to max is Aegis of Menhir, a shield throw that does slash damage.
What? How has this guy 80k subs? How has this video 80k views? And over 1k likes? What? How does he show the fucking Vindicator here? What the fuck? What is this? What? How? The most upvoted comment. Literally the best Grim Dawn build video I have seen yet. Informative, to the point, and relevant without any rambling like every other video so far. What? 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 You can play up to 4-player multiplayer, Legends of Let's Go. You can set the loot. There's an option to have it either shared for all, or like, you can either have instance loot, so like every guy has its own loot, right? Every player has its own loot, or you can share the loot so everybody sees all the loot on the floor. Even if you have like a loot for each player, you can still drop the items on the floor or click on the trade menu and then still trade with your friends. So I would always go for I don't know what's it called exactly, but like instance loot, right? Like every player has its own loot, and then if you want to share the loot, you can like drop it on the ground again and like trade. He sounds like he's French. I think in his profile he said he's Ukrainian. But I mean, that's like beside the point. Like, who cares what nationality he has? That's like totally beside the point. Like, who the fuck cares, man? Correct. I hope you're taking notes. This is how it's done.
and bounces between targets. The further building of this character goes around maximizing your retaliation,
Dude, he's using a cluster again. He's showcasing a retaliation build that's like the best build ever, and then he's using a fucking cluster against Alchemos.
Maximizing your retaliation.
I mean, okay.
Providing high level of survivability and also
to be honest, he's at least good with the cluster gameplay. Like he at least knows how and when to. Yeah, I was gonna say at least he uses them. That's actually not. I mean, okay, I shouldn't complain about that. Like at least he uses them.
On the percent of retaliation added to attack parameter, that will greatly empower your already strong skill damage. For exclusive skill, make sure to get the pass of the 3 as it's most effective with your build acid poison damage, and cooldown reduction bonuses will boost your bow's damage.
Okay, so he said max out Ages of Men here and then showed this, right?
That does slash damage and bounces between. Provide retaliation added to attack parameter, that will greatly empower your already strong skill damage. For exclusive skill, make sure to get the pass of the 3 as it's most effective with your build acid.
Okay, so this is obviously the right choice and the good exclusive for a Acid Sentinel. Doesn't matter if retaliation or not. You could argue that, especially on retail, you only need 17 points because only the uneven points like give you CDR and the even points don't. But okay, let's not be too picky here.
Poison damage and cooldown reduction bonuses will boost your bow's damage output from shield throw and your defensive skills. Your core attributes are physique and cunning with.
Why? Why is it cunning again? What the fuck? What the fuck? Why does he use... What the fuck? Why does he use double magi rings? That are like... Apart from like literally last... Okay, the drop chance got like slightly buffed. But they're like... I don't even have 2 of those after 7,000 hours. I mean, okay, I didn't target farm them that much. And you can get more if you like target farm them, obviously. What the They're more beginner friendly than Magi rings. Yes and no. The problem is like Tomb of the Heretic is a fucking hard dungeon, so I don't know. While yes, they are target farmable, I wouldn't recommend them like in a beginner build ever. Still. Holy shit! This is like. This is a also random endgame weapon again here, right? Random drop. Target farmable, yes, but literally from the hardest like dungeon. And they are quite rare. You have to farm it a lot. Random drop. No, this is a blueprint actually, or a random drop blueprint. I don't know. Serenity probably, of course. Why not? Or like either honor or serenity, right? Also, what the? Wait, are these like low level men? Aren't they level 94? They're level 94, right? He's level 89. Is he using the low level version of these rings? The fuck? Did he? Okay. He okay. Solution to why he has these rings. He farmed the rings on normal or elite Tomb of the Heretic, right? He target farmed them or elite or something like that. Serenity is random drop. There is a low level version, isn't there? No? He never farmed anything, he just stashed? Okay, 75. There are 75, the low level versions. Yeah. He's using double Ring of Sephiroth level 75 here, apparently. Okay, so either he spent like tons of hours on Elite farming those, but like by the time he got those, I mean, either he was giga lucky or he just like would have gotten to 100 already by that time. Or he just used the GD stash and cheated all of these items into the game. Which, well, obviously makes this entire video even more of a joke. Absolutely disgusting. Holy shit, dude.
Focus on the physique. Devotion is focused on maximizing retaliation, adding...
Yeah, honestly, Devotion page is like okay-ish. I think he has no murmur though, right?
Devotion is focused...
Yeah, he has no fucking murmur. This right here, murmur, mistress of rumors. If you don't play this, you might as well uninstall. If you're playing a code or asset build, this one right here, and you're not playing this, you're just trolling. And the fact that he's making a guide while not having this is just absolutely ridiculous. Like it's beyond utter trash.
On maximizing retaliation, adding more...
Look, also, what is this like?
And your defensive skills. Your core attributes are physique and cunning, with focus on the physique. Devotion is focused on maximizing retaliation, adding more...
What is this cut? He takes like damage down to like 8k,
on maximizing retaliation,
7k,
adding more
and then cuts, whatever.
And bumping up defense parameters.
Okay, let's not focus on that, like who cares, right? It's just some random ass gameplay.
You are getting from the shield blocking. You're already...
It's like dying to a totem, like good fucking build, man. Good fucking build. To be fair, he's doing ultimate level 88 totem for some reason, for the Reverie. I mean... okay, that's kind of hard content in a way for level 88. But like, why the fuck would you do this? Why the fuck would you show people that people should be doing this in a beginner build as well? What are his buffs? It's a Sentinel, right? Supposedly. Oh, he got Arcane or something. Dude, he's rotating pots all the time as well.
Devotion is focused on
That's
maximizing
so funny.
retaliation.
He's playing this like it's hardcore. Yeah, on Sentinel you only have these three, because you're not using Possession, and if you don't need Solar Switch Blade either. He's using all the pots. I mean, honestly, like, pots aren't that bad, but like, if you have to rely on pots and you can't still like face tank like a random totem, I mean, it's not a random totem, it's a totem pot Reverie, it's a bit harder, but still, like, holy, your build is not good if you have to do it like this.
You are getting from the shield blocking. Your already second one on top on the class 1 movement skill is a glyph of the Scorpion.
I mean, the devotions aren't that bad, honestly, here. Except for, obviously, Murmur missing, which makes them, like, utter trash. And he also has no tier 3, but...
Make sure to use it often, not to just engage enemies, as it does really good damage. Preferring pure mage builds, easy peasy. The next build is a mage...
What? Easy peasy?
Damage.
Okay, can we go and look at the Grim tools real quick here? Okay, he didn't bother us. Okay, he still doesn't know that this exists. Nobody told him. I mean, okay. It's possible that you don't know. He's converting Virus Might to Fire because... I guess he likes Knockdown, okay. But, I mean, it's not that bad, to be honest. Sure, Knockdown, why not? What the fuck? What the fuck? Is he proccing Smite with Aegis or what? Huh? Huh? Why would you have these skills? Would you say his views are botted as well? I don't think so, they're just... I mean, it's just people that have no idea about the game that click on it. No Curse of Reality. It literally says minus poison resistance debuff. Hello? Max the fuck out of the skill. Yes, you need the skill. Play the skill. If you play this, I mean, honestly, there's like 5 billion builds like this online that do Retaliation Sentinel. You can even like look up my build that I played, right? Sentinel budget build that I made. Of course, fucking YouTube. Oh, there it is actually, like number 3 or 4 at least. Right, this one right here. 25k views, not 85k. I guess it's trash. And this build right here, right? From 1 year ago. He could have looked at this. He could have researched at least a little bit before like making a guide. And yeah, I mean, it uses less random legendaries. It only uses blues that are easier to find, as well as greens that you can literally farm in like 5 minutes. This is the only one that's like a random drop, I think. Actually, no, it's a blueprint. Which, can you craft this? Is that a faction item? I don't quite remember. Is that a faction blueprint or not? What's it called? Sash of the Immortal Sage. Let's check real quick. Immortal Sage. Yeah, if you use greens, then your build is trash, right? We like blues and purples only. He probably has a loot filter set to like not even show greens. No, actually he does. He does have greens. I don't know what. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so this is a random blueprint, to be fair. Okay, so apart from one item that is random drop and probably rather hardish to get, but I mean, you can use any other belt here instead, right? Use any other belt instead. Compared to, I don't fucking know, like, what is this even? Honor, really? I also have honor. Okay, this is not beginner friendly, confirmed. To be honest, this is not a, I didn't mark this as a beginner build. It is a budget endgame build that is not supposed to be for like first characters, but you can still play it for first character. But then again, I should have like changed the title to be like destroy all content with this beginner build, right? And then I guess it would have had more than 25k views. Yep, my bad. Yes. And this is a, you know, like actual good retaliation, asset retaliation devotion page right here, for example. Best Sentinel build 2023, yeah, exactly. Just say that and yeah, that's it. That's all you need to do, right? Yeah, I don't even want to look at this. What the fuck? No murmur. No tier 3. Honestly, the no tier 3 isn't even that bad on retail, but like, no murmur is just trolling. And this is also like, what the fuck? You don't do this. Okay, and why do you not do this? Because it's only procs of default attacks. It doesn't proc of Aegis. Yes, if Aegis is on cooldown, then you could proc this. But you have like no modifiers to this whatsoever. What? You could play RF as a default attack replacer, which actually has retaliation damage added to attack. And he has plus 11 to retribution from gear. You know, like he could use this to actually deal damage. He literally has the gear for it. What the fuck? Why is he not doing it? Like you basically do it like this, right? You don't need this. What the hell? And you proc whatever he was procking with that, with RF instead. Right here. And then, okay, yes, you have one more button on your bar. However, if you have room for 3 pots that you don't need, then you also have room for one more button on the bar. And he even has default attack on the bar. He even has normal default attack on the bar. And he also has no guardians, true. What the heck? He just doesn't understand how resistance reduction works in this game. And that's okay if he's new to the game. Which he probably is, but then you shouldn't be making guides if you're new to the game. Hello? Right, like just this simple change. Get vulnerability. Get guardians. You only need 17 here. Can put more duration here. Get RF, use it instead of the default attack, and remove these, like, 1 point here is fine. This is just trash. You remove this, get more cooldown reduction and range instead here. And then the build is like already 5 billion times better even without Murmur. And if you take Murmur, it's gonna be like 10 billion times better. Like, he has 4k armor, but shows 70% absorption. Cool. Just great. Just great. Full guide in the comments, by the way. Full guide in the comments, by the way. Full documented builds. Yep, yeah, sure. Holy. Okay, next build.
Preferring pure mage build to just engage enemies, as it does really good damage. Preferring pure mage builds, easy peasy. The next build is a Mage Hunter, Arcanist and Inquisitor combo. Elemental damage mage, heavily focused on the Arcanist almost entirely, with just couple of skills from Inquisitor for extra passive crit power and defensive ability. Just couple of skills damage mage, next build does really good damage.
Okay, so he shows a Mage Hunter now, with Panetti's main ability. Okay, cool. It's not like, apart from Panetti being like one of the worst skills for beginners, let's ignore that fact. That is a build, you can make that build.
Easy peasy.
Not easy peasy, definitely not.
The next build is a Mage Hunter, Arcanist and Inquisitor combo. Elemental damage mage, heavily focused on the Arcanist almost entirely, with just couple of skills from Inquisitor for extra passive.
Okay, he shows... So this is all he has in Inquisitor, that's all he has, right? There is no Aura of Censure. Again, he doesn't understand how resistance reduction works. He just doesn't understand how it works. Again, 12 points here, which is too much. Okay, if you ever wanna do a class, like a build that focus heavily on one class and only very sparingly on the other class, just always use Occultist as a secondary, and then it's actually gonna kind of work, because all you need is Curse of Frailty and Blood of Dreeg. As long as you can pick those two lines, and as long as your damage trap is being supported by Curse of Frailty, the build is gonna be fine. He's got cluster and right mouse button. He lost a bet, no way he made those builds for real.
Crit power and defensive ability. This one is also generally a
He's level 90 with 7500 HP. Holy shit.
glass cannon, but with more crowd control and bubbles.
With bubbles, yeah, that's... I mean, he might as well like explain this entire video as a bubble. It's an entire video that once you like go past 3 minutes and you have remotely any idea what he's talking about, it's just gonna pop instantly, right? It's just popping. It's popping hard right now. Anyway, okay.
Protective skill procs that negate incoming damage, centered around prismatic-looking elemental missile that mirrors and replicates itself to multiple directions further as it hits the target. Begin your journey from
glass cannon. If it was an actual glass cannon, this character, this monster that he just fought, would have been dead after like 2 seconds and not still alive after 10 and him having to disengage.
Equally rising the Panetti's replicating missile as your main skill and is Skandra's elemental exchange as a...
I mean, I'm pretty sure he also doesn't understand how percent weapon damage works, and that like if you have flat damage, right, if you have flat damage in a skill like this, okay, where the fuck is it? Where's this build? Where the fuck is it even? No, it's somewhere here, right? Why does the Scroom Tools have 5k HP at over? Okay. If you have any kind of flat damage like this, right? The flat elemental damage is not going to be applied to a skill unless it has percent weapon damage. And if you take away that, then yes, this counter still has like percent elemental damage scaling, but it's not that efficient for endgame. It's like kind of okay early, but like with gear and everything on later on, it's just bad. But yeah, that's just gonna like all I'm gonna say here. So this is usually like a 1 pointer
passive
later.
damage modifier boost and the energy regen boost. When you will reach like level 20 or so, make sure to also max the Alexra's Flash Freeze spell, as it will be your main crowd control skill against the large group.
Okay, so you are supposed to max out this first and then this. Again, with like no points down here. And at level 20, you're gonna be 5 points deep in your mastery and max this. At level 20. Nani? So you're gonna have 400 HP at level 20? Okay. You go full physique 800? Okay. With how many pots he uses, I think he understands resistances and how bad his are. He did not use resistance pots though. Like the pots he used earlier were like these aren't resistance pots. These are like, okay, this one's actually a resistance pot. I think lightning rest pot. This one is a I don't know, like some kind of like just elemental damage pot or something like that. IE based node can be endgame if you're playing weapon damage based, yeah. For casters, okay, if you have like tons and tons of spare points, then yes. Then yes, yeah. Then yes. Otherwise, no, I think.
Of enemies, and while you cannot actually freeze most of the bosses in place, it will still noticeably slow them down. Also,
What? That's not how it works! That's not how it works! Even though... Oh my god, what?
freeze most of the bosses in place, it will still noticeably slow them
It doesn't! No, it fucking doesn't!
down.
It does literally nothing! Even though...
Actually freeze most of the bosses in place, it will still noticeably slow them
It
down.
does
Also
not.
make sure to
Holy
max
shit.
the Maven Sphere of Protection main skill
That's not
around
how it
level
works.
30 or so to get some passive protection that this build lacks
Oh
in
my
the early
god.
and the mid game. And always get at least one level.
Dude, there's no way he made these builds. Is this even his gameplay? I don't think he even played the game. Like, he didn't even play the game, man. Like the first build, honestly, it looked garbage, but it wasn't like as bad as the others. Like, it just gets worse and worse. And how do you make like so many and they just get like worse and worse? And how do you make all those characters with like all pretty much legendary gear, but you have no green gear? It's like he had like a group of like 5 people like gifting him gear or like just making content for like, I don't know, making a recording for him. Like he did not. I'm confident this guy did not play through the game a single time properly. He did not play through the game a single time. Okay, so the reason why I'm watching this Karyoplasma is because this video has like the most views out of like any Grim Dawn video in the last like 4 months, pretty much. He was widely, like, this video was like kind of popular on Reddit for some weeks actually. And you have people saying in the comments, literally the best Grim Dawn video I've ever seen, informative to the point, relevant without any rambling, and has the most likes. Like, are all these people like bought? Does he like buy all these comments and everything? Are these people serious? How is this a thing? Like, he also comments on each comment. I mean, I do that too. I mean, that's not like, I mean, that's fine. That's fine, but
of Mirror of Areopter's skill as soon as possible.
Dude, I don't think I
even
can finish
at
the video, man.
level
Like, I
1,
fucking can't.
It still provides a complete invincibility
I fucking
for
can't,
3
man.
seconds. Just the cooldown gets
I wonder if he
shorter
takes constructive feedback.
with the skill level going
I don't
up.
think he cares.
Your core attributes here are physique
If you post a video like this, you don't care. Like, honestly, if you post a video like that, you don't care in the first place. Like, if you would have cared, you would have, like, at least looked at any other video guide anywhere on YouTube or on the forums. Like, any guide that shows, like, an actual build. I don't think he cares at all in any way.
Half of points spent into physique.
Like, there's no way.
Still have lots of spirit
There's no way he
anyway,
cares. It's impossible. Like, how can you post something like this and care?
Also, do not invest anything into cunning at all, as you will get more than enough hit and crit chance from the class and devotion skills.
Dude, it's like he's applying some, like, Diablo 3 logic and just forces it down players' throats. He heavily censors comments. Yeah. That's too Brody. Shocked? Yeah, not shocked. Yeah, no, he just, no, he's just, I don't know, man. How even?
Devotion here.
How does this guy, like, make a living? I don't get it. Absolute disgusting human being. Holy shit.
Procs, getting more needed utility bonuses and
No, this is worse than Requiem X in a way.
Protection in form of 2 bubbles from different celestial abilities and another one.
You get 1 shard in 100, you already understand something about this game. You got 5 just in this video. As I said, I'm pretty confident he didn't play through the game a single time because all of this is either cheated or, like, made by other people for him. And then he just, like, they are so bad.
The recommended movement glyph is the glyph of ghastly retreats. Can there be an RPG without a summoner build? Of course no. The next one is Kabbalist, Necromancer and Occultist Mastery. It features a large amount from 5 in early game up to...
What is this build even now? Like, it's just like random Pinetti shit?
Healing you from time to time.
I don't even want to look at anything anymore, like, it's just all trash. Holy shit.
Occultist Mastery. It features a large amount from 5 in early game up to 13 in late game of
all these characters are 80, 89, 89.
Also pretty strong and resilient at the same time.
I mean, yeah.
This pet horde
you can corpse run anything to 100 in Grimdawn.
Bows huge crowd of enemies and bosses and go through any of the hardest game dungeons on ultimate difficulty. The pets here are doing mostly vitality, acid and physical damage.
And that, honestly, this video is why I'm very, very glad that the game is getting harder with 1.2. Because people can literally post the most utter garbage and still claim they got through a dungeon. Because you can actually. Because the game is so easy. In many cases, you actually can.
This build uses Necromancer skills and item skills for pets themselves, as well as pets' main damage boosts and occultist skills for making pets more beefy and to debuff enemies. Begin from maxing their...
Wait, what? He doesn't... Oh my god, he's like... The one thing that's good about occultists for pets, or like the thing that's the best, is this one right here for the total speed. Hello, pick this one up. This is like what gives your pets actual damage. It's like the one thing he doesn't use. And also, why the fuck does he use Curse of Frailty here in this build now? Oh yeah, of course, because slow enemies probably, right?
As well as pets' main damage boosts and occultist skills for making pets more beefy and to debuff enemies. Begin from maxing their rate.
He also just like says debuff enemies all the time, as if like there's only one debuff in this game like there's in Diablo 4, right? It's like saying to apply vulnerable to enemies, right? If this was a D4 video, it would be accurate, right? You just use anything to apply vulnerable, right? Just like use anything randomly to like apply vulnerable. And here, Grimdawn is just different. It's a different game, man. Like,
skeleton skill and always upgrades. Then marks the Summon Blight Fiend skill, but yet without upgrades. After that, marks the Blood of Drake and Curse of Frailty skills. For now, without upgrades too. Then
what?
Drake.
Why would you max this first and not get this?
And Curse of Frailty skills. for now without upgrades too. Then proceed with the rest of the skills highlighted in the calculator at will.
I mean, for progression, for pets, honestly, this kind of actually makes, in a way, sense.
Focusing on
It's not something I would like point out here as being like the reason why this video is garbage.
And spirit. I have linked 2 devotion setups for this build. The first one
Check what's
is
called,
a more
okay.
preferable one. It's focused on the pet tankiness and general sustainability.
Honestly, I feel like this is probably like his best build. Simply because there's only like 2 ways to do pet devotions, and he used like one of the 2. And second, because as long as you just like blindly equip pet gear and max out everything that says like that's good for pets, the pet builds just work because it's pets, right?
As well as all pets counting your enemies, so you
like this build honestly looks like the best one so
protected by them.
far.
Yet
Except for like the one thing where he didn't pick like the total speed for pets, but
with some good damage burst procs
Light of Imperium proc is a little weird because it requires you to get hit and not the pets.
as well. And when you will be already mostly in the legendary
But
gear,
okay.
you can switch to a second.
Did he just die there?
And when you will be
he
already
die there and cut out the
mostly in
video?
legendary gear, you
Maybe
can
not.
switch to a second setup, which is more focused
probably
on
not.
the pet's damage. Try both and see which one will be fitting your equipment and the play style more. The recommended movement skill is the glyph of the pouncing
I do not understand why he focused, like everything he shows is either super generic or just like total random or trash, and he doesn't specify anything, and then he always specifies the route, the movement relic, as if it's like, I don't know, like some like game defining notable in a PoE skill tree, right? Nani?
Manticore or the glyph of the Ravenous Wendigo. Ready for
Only one glyph exists? No. He has more glyphs, but like he points out the glyphs as if it's like a build defining core. The glyphs are like whatever compared to everything else. They're so unimportant
another dual wielding build. Yet
compared
this
to everything
time,
else.
Emilia says
Okay, that was this already. Okay, let's check out the green tools real quick, like a quick glance. I can't anymore. Okay, so this is yeah, okay. The Covenant set is honestly kind of strong. Wait, no, he's not using the full. Wait, what is this? Just Corruptor too? What? 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 Why? It's a heal, of course you take it. Holy fuck, dude. Remember when I said like this is probably his best build? It's probably still true. But what? What the fuck? He knows like the heal is dependent on the damage that you as the character deal with this attack. And it requires you, the character, to actually have damage and not pets. Oh, the other setup also has it. Holy shit! What is? Dude, if you're gonna use a skill to proc a Celestia power, use Curse of Frailty, yes, and then use something else, like for example Soul Harvest in Bone Harvest, that also buffs your pets, maybe. And then you don't use this garbage, but instead you have Heart of Mogdogan procced by Bone Harvest. Because 1, it buffs your pets, and 2, it's gonna have a way higher chance to, you know, activate, and also C, you can cast it at range, so you can increase the range further, so you don't have to like put yourself into a like unfortunate position. Whereas this one, which is a weapon pool skill, meaning you have to first of all default attack, second of all you have to proc it, which doesn't happen all the time. It was like, what, 26% chance? And then third of all, it's going to have a 20% chance to proc the devotion proc, 25% of the chance that you use a skill. What? What does that even like right now? So every time he attacks, he has a 5% chance to proc his devotion. So he's gonna on average have to attack 20 times to proc his Howl of Mogjogan. With 0 attack speed. Good enough. Okay, next build.
Wendigo. Ready for another dual wielding build, yet this time a melee assassin, a shadowy dancer of
Melee
death.
assassin, I mean the only thing that's gonna be assassinated here is himself. 8k HP, level 97.
Doing piercing, bleeding and cold damage, and delivering ridiculous damage bursts.
Ridiculous damage
To
burst.
both single targets and groups. This
Yes,
trickster
ridiculous
is heavily
damage
focused
burst.
on the Nightblade class and just gets the auto-attack replacer from Shaman. The build is focused on auto-attacks and large amount of on-hit
He's almost dying to the death effects of the
procs,
enemies.
which are both doing damage, shredding enemy resistances for even more damage, and mending your own wounds. The build also has a decent dodge chance, together with an own damage negation skill and a passive lifesteal, and some extra damage protection and highly increased lifesteal and physical resistances at the low health. It's also highly mobile, max movement speed and 2 jump skills that allow you to freely focus on needed enemy or retreat from the dangerous zone in a fight.
Okay, I didn't
Allow
even
you
pay
to
attention. I was just like still focused on.
Really focus on
Honestly, the devotions don't look that bad for this one, don't they? He has Assassin's Blade,
Enemy
so he has
resistances
finally
for
picked
even
up
more
resistance reduction. He has like Living Shadows, he has Ghoul, debatable. In current meta, you wouldn't take Ghoul, you just take this and like take Dryad. But okay, I mean, this still works. It's not bad. I mean, this is honestly like.
dodge chance.
Maybe this is
together
his
with
best
an
build.
own damage negation skill and the passive lifesteal.
Apart from the
and
HP.
some extra damage protection and highly increased lifesteal and physical resistances at the low health. It's also highly mobile, max movement speed and 2 jump skills that allow you to freely focus
No
on needed
Ulzad, by the way. Ulzad is a very good tier 2 as well for a build like this.
dangerous zone in a fight fast, while your invincible minions,
flat RR
the
either,
Blade
yeah.
Spirit class skill,
I mean, RR
and
is optional,
several shadow
apparently.
minions from the devotion,
But
which
he-
are by
He picked Assassin's Blade because it had the word assassin in it, and this is supposed to be assassin, right? Right? Like, if the Assassin Blade wasn't called assassin, he wouldn't have picked Assassin's Blade. But this is an assassin build, so obviously you pick the assassin devotion, and you also pick Assassin's Blade devotion. Otherwise, you don't pick him.
jump skills that allow you to
Right? He has assassin and Assassin's Blade, and this is an assassin, so it makes sense. Right?
focus on needed enemy
course.
or retreat from the dangerous zone in a fight fast, while your invincible minions, the Blade Spirit class skill, and several shadow minions from the devotion, which are, by the way, scaling from player bonuses and not the pet bonuses, so you will not need to change your gear, will be dealing with the problem. When investing in these build skills, make sure to not get too greedy on DPS skills.
This is gonna be another build where he has like only 1 point in Shaman and then 16 points in Savagery, and the rest of Shaman is like empty, and that's why he has 8k HP, right? Because he fucking overmaxed all of these skills. You don't need as many points in any of these. You like 1 point these weaker ones, you like maybe like max out a higher one. You don't max Blade Spirits until you get to 24 points. Because at 24 points you would get 3 Blade Spirits. Here you only have 2, and if you don't have gear for them, they are garbage damage. And he has a dual wield melee setup, so he is not gonna have the gear for this. So this is a 1-pointer to just like proc devotions, otherwise you don't even play it at all. Ring of Steel, you max it out if you have the gear for it, and or if you are using a 2-hander maybe, but it's probably not worth it. I'm actually surprised he has so many points on this. Where are those points from? I mean, we're gonna check out the gear in a second here. 15 points or 12 points is fine here, 16 is inefficient, but I mean that's like 16 points here is also super inefficient, but 1 point here should be nice for elemental resistances, but I guess resistances are optional. 16 points here honestly aren't too bad. 17 points here is a little overkill. 11 points here is usually the best. 16 points here is also super bad. You want 1 point or 0, usually 0. But if you really, really, really want another panic button, you can play this. But if you're playing like a duo with mini build, if you have to press this, it's kind of like already scuffed in a way. And it's better to just press a cluster instead of this button. Which is funny, he doesn't have a cluster on this character. Maybe he didn't think he needs a cluster since he was playing Blade Barrier, I don't know. Anyway, this is a waste of skill points. You either put 1 here or 0. This is... I'm surprised he has 1 point here when he doesn't have a 1 pointer here. Because this one is actually literally completely useless. It does literally nothing. This one would at least give like a elemental res. There's no shaman page. No, he has savagery. There has to be like at least 1 point in shaman for savagery.
Examples highlighted with the green outline on the image now, and always invest in the protective utility skills highlighted with the blue outline, like the Veil of Shadow.
Also, he doesn't provide like any way on how to level it, because dual wield Nightblades, unlike other builds where you just have like a main skill and you just max it out and then you have your damage, dual wield Nightblade builds work a little bit differently when it comes to their damage, especially while leveling. So he probably doesn't even have any fucking clue how to level this because he didn't do it properly. So he doesn't show like the progression level by level here, which he actually did somewhat on the other builds. Instead, he just like shows the result and then says like, yeah, like just put points somehow.
And Pneumatic Burst every now and then. You may also notice that the Amarastas Blade Burst skill only has its upgrade maxed, while the skill itself only has 1 skill point invested. That's because here we are relying on other skills for the direct DPS.
What? That whole sentence made no sense. The reason why you 1 point this and max out this is because this one gives you flat damage, flat weapon damage, which will be applied to all other weapon like damage builds, skills rather. And if you're dual wielding, you're getting that bonus twice for left and for right hand. So this is why this is so inefficient. And you're only 1 pointing this because if you're dual wielding, this only hits with one hand, your offhand, and only uses the weapon damage of your offhand. So it's kind of bad damage. So unless you have a build specifically designed around this skill, or you're using a two-hander, you always only 1 point this, except for maybe like the first like 5 levels while leveling. So whatever he's saying here just makes no sense whatsoever. And what I just said is the real reason why you spec it like this. All of that beside the point. What damage type is this even? Is this supposed to be lightning or code or pierce? If it doesn't have conversion, this thing gives you flat code and acid damage. If you don't convert this flat code and acid damage to whatever damage type that you're actually dealing, then it's not even worth the points. Like, you don't even do that then. Right? Then okay, devotions were Pierce, right? It was a Pierce build. He's Pierce assassin. Right? He's assassin class, he's full assassin, right? So he needs to convert the acid and the code to Pierce. Otherwise, it's a waste of points anyway.
Has its upgrade maxed, while the skill itself only has 1 skill point invested. That's because here we are relying on other skills for the direct DPS, while this one is used only to activate the damage buff it upgrade gives. Your core attributes are Physique and Cunning, with around 60 to
Physique and Cunning actually makes sense on this if it's Pierce.
to 40% ratio, and the recommended glyph is the glyph of the elusive assassin. The last
Oh, dude, the glyph, pointing out the glyph every time is so funny, dude. It's so fucking funny. Oh wait, what? Now it's Korba? Wait, is this Pierce Korba? Oh wait, what is Korba? That's why he has so many points in Ring of Steel? What? Beginner build, just get full Korba set. Oh my fucking god, dude. Who made this build? Show us the shaman tree, let's go. I told you. It's 1 point in Shaman Tree and max out savagery. That's all there is. Uh, that's literally all there is. Oh my god, dude. Oh. Okay, I said earlier, like, this might be his best build. Like, when looking at the evolutions, I'm like, okay, this looks kind of like good for, like, maybe, like, some, I don't know, like Belgothian build. I mean, you usually play, like, Infiltrator Blade Master for that, but, I mean, I don't know, like, Belgothian Blades, you know, like, Trickster can actually somewhat actually also work. Apart from the fact that it would be in no way whatsoever a beginner build. It's a super endgame build for which you have to farm the gear first, otherwise it doesn't work. Holy shit, it's cold. What? Nothing has pierce damage here. Cold, bleed, frostburn. Bleed, physical internal trauma. Cold, frostburn. This one has pierce, okay. This one has pierce, okay. This one has pierce, okay. This one has no damage. This one has cold, bleed, frostburn. What the fuck? Just deal damage, right? And just deal like 5 different damage types. Get some like acid and cold damage in there as well. Let's go. And then he said like focus on physique and cunning, right? Which would have been correct for a Pierce build. For this, I don't fucking know anymore. Just deal damage, I guess. Just deal damage. 900 Pierce modifier. 1k cold. I mean, okay, no augments and so on, but like, holy fuck. Like... Like, AI builds are better than this. It's not lazy. It's worse. It's worse than the worst AI. Okay, can somebody like give me a like a website, like an AI website that can make me a Grim build? Because I'm pretty sure AI, like any random AI, can make a better build than this. It's like ChatGPT, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Fuck, dude. This is just. I can't. Stop making fun of your build. No, Scrab, like you are a god gamer. Now that I've seen this, you are a god gamer. Like, okay, the reason why you're dying on stream, Scrab, right? Is not because you're making bad builds or like following bad guides. It's maybe because your reactions aren't always the quickest. Maybe because you're drinking too much. And also maybe because you're like reading chat and then like dying because of that, right? But it's not because you're using the wrong builds. Just use this one or what? Oh yeah, just use this one, okay. Make me the best build in Grim Dawn. Is this good enough? Dude, this build is literally better than any build he just showed. Like, I'm not even kidding. Build dual wield Pierce Blade Master. Class combination Soldier Nightblade. Skills and devotion, soldier skills, cadence max, momentum max, yep. Fighting spirit max, debatable. This one max, yeah. Max, yeah. Main hero's will. Doesn't work with dual wielding, so this is actually trash, but okay. Okay, let's make this one real quick. I'm pretty sure it's literally better than all his builds. Like, not even joking. Okay, max. Oh wait, I need to remove this real quick. Max. Fighting spirit max, stat momentum max. Field command max, what tactics max, fighting spirit, yeah, fighting spirit is this one. Main hero's world 1 point. Okay, I mean, this is obviously trash, doesn't work. Okay, he does not use an exclusive. That's bad. Failed that test. ABB max. Okay, maybe this is not better than his builds, but it's like, it's equally bad. It's not worse. Lethal assault max. Wait, he doesn't use dual blades or what? Okay, 1 point dual blades, otherwise you can't use these. Belgo shears max. Okay, maybe this is actually trash as well. Never mind. Execution max, 1 point shadow strike. Okay, he has 18 points remaining. He didn't pick this, right? Like what he should have picked is this as well here, this line here as well. Should have also picked this and this and this and this maybe. Like this kind of, maybe this, maybe this. And then he should also like pick this, right? And what he should not have picked is like not this, not this, not this. He should have picked like all of these. Not this there. Not this. Like these three rather. I mean, Blitz or Shadow Strike is like whatever. One this, right? One this, one this. I mean, you kind of like depends on the gear from now on, right? You can also like, yeah. I mean, something like this is what he should have picked. No, actually, you don't pick this. This is what ChatGPT should have picked, right? Okay, I mean, is it worse than his builds? Is it better? Okay, it's not really better than his builds. It's like this. It's like on the same level though. Like honestly, if you follow this and play this, you would get the same results. Like literally. My prompt was not specific enough. Yeah, maybe not. I mean, this is the best build, right? It shows me the best build. Okay, devotions. Let's make devotions. Shit. Wait, the last one is a holy shit. I know. If he manages to like fuck up all these like actually decent classes, like how is he gonna fuck up apostate? That's gonna be fun. Blades of Nadan. Blades of Nadan is this, right? Blades of Nadan is this. Assassin's Blade and Harpy. Unknown Soldier and Oleron. Okay, Soldier is good, Oleron is not good. Let's just do it like this. Amatok, the Spirit of Winter. Oh, okay, ChatGPT, now you're trolling. Hawk. Okay, now chat is actually trolling. Watcher and Ghoul. To be fair, at least it's not Cold Corbat Trickster with Pierce Devotions. Okay, let's see here though. Equipment. Look for swords or daggers with high pierce and cold damage bonuses. Okay. Yeah, ChatGPT also is trying to like do pierce cold hybrid, I guess. Fuck. Did chat like learn from him? Did ChatGPT learn from Sinitar G? This is awfully similar. This is awfully similar. I don't know who learned from whom here. They have like the same approaches. I don't know. Like skipping resistance reduction on Nightblade. Like generally like skipping resistance reduction and like doing like pierce code hybrid, like equipping some. Okay, to be fair though, he recommends like death marked stuff, which actually has pierce and cold damage on the set, right? Ask ChatGPT to make the builds he made. How would I even write the prompt for that though? Like it's just random bullshit go. That's like literally what the prompt would be for these. ChatGPT learned from the YouTube guy since it has the most likes. Yeah, maybe. Makes it 6 bad builds. Yeah, I mean that's how it works, I guess. Okay, okay. Enough Trickster, I think. Enough Trickster. Holy, this is so bad.
But not least epic build for today. Armed with a 2-hand attacks or a size and delivering devastating vitality and 8 damage bursts, while being terrifying and
he has to speed up the video to defeat Balok Anatu, the Blood Fiend.
Least epic build for Glyph is the Glyph of the Elusive Assassin. The last but not least epic build for today. Armed with a 2-hand attacks or a size and delivering devastating vitality and 8 damage bursts, while being terrifying and nearly invincible at the same time.
Terrifying, yeah. The fucking build terrifies me indeed.
This apostate, a combination of necromancer and inquisitor, is a deadly.
Is he not using auto pickup for components?
A combination of.
He's not. Does he not know that exists? Did he not like watch any?
Fine and nearly invincible at the same time. This apostate, a combination of necromancer and inquisitor, is a deadly bonking melee build with a great survivability. From inquisitor,
did he actually time the video so that the word survivability overlaps with him getting blasted by a death effect?
Is a deadly bonking melee build with a great survivability. From inquisitor,
let's stop
he
to
takes
editing.
Some extra health, movement speed, resistance, and the crit power, while the core.
Okay. So again, Inquisitor is obviously the ultimate support mastery because it has deadly aim, right? When you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you don't know what the fuck you pick on your second mastery, just pick Inquisitor and just pick deadly aim, right? Because OA and crit is all you need, right? Just get crit damage, crit, right? I mean, that's like honestly what like many other RPGs tell you, right? Just get crit damage, it's the best stat, right? And then you're playing Grim Dawn and you see not a single crit on the entire screen because you can't crit.
Build with a great survivability. From
like, did you ever see Deadly Aim proc in any of his gameplay videos ever?
Inquisitor is a deadly.
Okay, it's actually on cooldown here.
With a great
so they apparently must have proc at some point. Okay, there's like some crits here actually.
From
Okay.
He takes some extra health, movement speed, resistance.
Never mind, there are some crits. Never mind, I'm just trash talking here.
Power. Well,
yeah, just crit, right? It's gonna solve all our problems, I guess. What's the OA? Honestly, OA might have been good, but you can't tell because he doesn't show you his build. He just shows you random bullshit. Like he shows you this. This is the link he shows you.
Takes some extra health, movement speed, resistance, and the crit power, while the core, necromancer part of the build is wrapped around huge damage bursts from the Bone Harvest skill, as well.
So he converts Bone Harvest's physical damage to cold, but he has no physical damage because he's using an Aether weapon, right? I mean, okay, that's fine. He's using weapon pool skills, again, like too many points and all this bullshit, which is why like his Inquisitor has like 0 points. Honestly, other than that, apart from like this being useless, because if you're playing Aether, dot damage is useless. This right here could be worse. Obviously, you pick this only for crit damage. If it's not efficient because you don't have the other damage stats, it's irrelevant, right? You just see crit damage, press crit damage, right? Crit damage is all you need on everything, ever, all the time.
A strong and life-sapping auto-attack procs, and close AoE skills that also debuff the enemies, Ripping Strike, Necrotic Edge, and Siphon Souls, together with your Spectral Binding, bone-chilling aura that buffs you and debuffs the enemies around. Due to the combination of class and devotion skills, as well as generally recommended items, you will always have not less than 30 or even 40% of constant lifesteal, and considering you two-handed damage bursts, you will be basically able to heal yourself on nearly.
What are these devotions?
You two-handed damage bursts, you will be basically constant lifesteal, have not less heals, as well.
Okay, but
as generally recommended items, you will always have
two-hand, Bat Ghoul, Wendigo,
not less than 30 or
Spider,
40% of constant
Revenant,
lifesteal, and considering
Gallows.
you two-handed damage bursts, you will be basically able to heal yourself.
I mean, it's not that bad, I guess. This one is like okay-ish.
On nearly
For a vitality build.
Being low in
And for a guide, it's still utter garbage.
just a few attacks.
But like, if he was a new player and he made this himself, it's okay.
But if this will be not enough in some extremely dangerous situations, thanks to the
Like for a new, like if he was a new player, first time playing this game and he made this, I would say for a new player, like for a first time player, it's actually like pretty good, right? It's okay for a first time player. If you like play blind without a guide, then that's actually totally okay. But like,
Mark of Torment class skill that absorbs damage, and the Ghoulish Hunger
why does he have so many
skill
Patreons? What the
from
fuck?
Devotion
I'm envious.
that bumps your lifesteal to over 100% and allows you to fully heal yourself in
These
a
are all his
single weapon
patrons.
swing. You will be
These are
able
all the
to
people like paying him to do this content right here.
overcome even the most ridiculous boss encounters. Your core attributes are physique and cunning, spread it nearly equally with a bit more points to physique.
Physique and
your
cunning, actually good on this build. Yes, I agree.
physique and cunning, spread it nearly equally with a
Wait, what?
Your core attributes are physique and cunning, spread it
Oh wait, I thought he said spirit. Why is it cunning again?
ridiculous boss encounters. Your core attributes are physique and cunning,
What? Why is it cunning?
spread it nearly equally with a bit more points to physique, and the recommended movement skill
Yeah, because you always need OA, because OA gives you crit chance, and crit chance makes you have damage through crit damage, so you stack. Yeah, it's just crit chance mentality and crit damage mentality. Which is what like Diablo games and like honestly Last Epoch as well teaches you, that's true. Alchemist is the hardest boss in the game, didn't you know? And also you always press cluster for Alchemist. Like,
is the glyph of a waiting
you always need 5 billion pots for Alchemist, otherwise you're not playing the game right.
So, that's it fellas. I hope you have enjoyed these builds and found something fitting your own taste between
I think
them.
I need to like make an appointment with like some doctor, because I think I'm like developing a brain tumor right now and I need it fixed.
Make sure to enable channel notifications as there will be more such videos in the future, and join our Discord to always stay in touch. If you want to support me directly during the war,
Crit damage is kinda good in Grim Dawn, to be honest. I mean, as a last layer, yes. When everything else already works, yes.
my Patreon and video game store are linked down below in the video description as well. Stay tuned, stay safe and stay happy. Scimitar here, signing out.
Like, it only works if like everything else works. Holy, okay, that was a video. That was a video.